ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Nope. Nope.
Don't smack the table.
We just had this talk. I'm keeping it.
All right, let's go.
Screw it.
Hi, everybody. I thought you were going to yell at me for taking my sweatshirt off, and then I realized, oh, he said a merch.
Yeah. All right, cool. You're very clear so far.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Ah, man. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode 3 of...
Hopefully the only episode 3.
The But Seriously podcast. My name is Casey Johnson, and alongside me, as always, is this beautiful man in plaid, Ravenstad Miller.
Hello.
This ugly man in black, Richey Stevens. How are you guys doing? Are we good?
I'm pretty good. I'm solid.
Yeah. Is that... I'm not going to go there.
Either
way. What have you guys been up to?
We spent the day together. We kind of hung out, got lunch. Oh, yeah, it was very romantic. We watched like 5 episodes of Daredevil.
Do you feel bad that you guys can't hold hands across the table because we're using this mic? You can, but it's very dangerous.
Just don't touch the mic.
We do apologize for the audio issues last week. We were using a stupid setup, but we realized this mic can pretty much capture us and we'll be good.
Told you.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
I got him to admit he was wrong.
Well, at least we got it on camera. Either way, this is Making Fun's podcast, the But Seriously podcast. Every week, 3 best friends gather around the table, and we bring to you each a random topic of discussion to talk about whatever we want to talk about. But each episode, I know I said it, just don't... Just...
Keep it in your pants over there.
It's all right.
We can get through
really,
this. Really?
We're going straight there. I have a rigmarole I have to get through. I have to say so many things. Every episode of the But Seriously podcast, and by that I mean 2 out of the 3 of them so far, and possibly not this one at the rate we're going.
We got this.
Starts with what we call the RCR report, which is, of course, your weekly news report. All of the news that you did not see in the 6 o'clock news, all the weird stuff, all of the wacky stuff. These guys have no idea what stories are on this paper. Oh yeah, last week was terrible. If you missed last week's show, Richey found out that he is a terrible person.
Oh, Casey found out he's a terrible person. You're a terrible person too.
Yeah.
We were all terrible.
We all discovered.
I think I was the worst.
Oh my gosh.
Hands down.
Okay.
So bad.
I understand if a lot of you didn't watch until the end of last week's because of the audio issues, but I will tell you, somehow the subject got on
Tracy Morgan.
I'll just say it. We were talking about every black comedian we could think of at the time because we were talking about Steve Harvey, who's played by Kenan Thompson, then Eddie Murphy came up, Tracy Morgan came up, and Richey says, you brought up Tracy Morgan. He kind of fell off the face of the earth. I haven't really seen him
in my
too
defense,
much.
I had like the last thing I remember seeing him in was Cop Out with Bruce Willis.
That was huge news, though. We had to break the...
I don't watch the news. That's why I kind of rely on you.
You should go watch Rich's reaction on last week's episode.
Yeah,
it's
like a minute or an hour and 4 minutes.
It's like 5 minutes away from the end of the episode. Just go watch it.
Seriously,
it's 30 seconds.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
it seriously is worth it. Just watch from a couple minutes on. I would like to start the RCR report a little bit differently this week because Casey has something to say.
Oh.
And this right here, this message goes out to my 7th and 8th grade math teacher, Mr. Blackman.
Oh no.
Now,
no.
I hope he sees this someday. F you, Blackman. F you in the A. All right? Now, I'm going to explain to you guys.
We're going off the rails.
We're going off the rails, and I don't really care right now because this is the worst. This is the worst thing to happen to me this week. All right? Okay. Chris Rupp left home free. I was very sad about that. I love home free. This is the worst thing to happen to me easily this week. All right? So I was researching stories for the RCR report, right?
Oh, no.
And I came across this thing where this guy has claimed his $700,000 prize for solving Fermat's last theorem.
Mm-hmm.
And he solved the theorem, and he proved it. And this is where I have my issue. Because... And are you familiar with the theorem?
I am not.
Are you familiar with the theorem?
What is math?
Okay. Sorry, I asked the dyslexic guy. But no. Okay.
Math became a whole another subject.
Right, so there, in the 17th century, there was this mathematician. His last name was Fermat. Okay. He wasn't a mathematician. He was like... The mathematicians were like a clique. Mm-hmm. Like, they... Just imagine some greasers.
You can't sit with us.
I got my water. And so...
Tight budgets running around here.
Oh, I think my DQ cup's empty, so...
And so what he would do is, because he hated mathematicians, and he was smarter than any of them, so he would do this thing where every week he would give them like an unsolvable math riddle. And he would say, all right, see you next week. And so then all week, none of the mathematicians could figure it out. And then the next Tuesday or whatever, when they all had their secret mathematician club, I don't know. I don't know what it was like.
Cult.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about pi today.
Man, I've heard of Life of Pi, but that's really... Anyway...
No.
That being said, okay, the next week he would come back and he would solve it and he would make fun of them.
Yep.
And so one time he gave them a theorem and then that week he died. Okay. And nobody ever figured it out until like just last week.
Yep.
I have a feeling that you actually figured this riddle out.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
I thought this was going to be
No, see, here's the thing. 7th grade Casey walks into algebra in Jordan Blackman's classroom. That is Jordan Blackman. Now, he says, all right, at this time, the prize was $1 million.
Okay.
He said, I am going to give you all an opportunity for $1 million today.
Awesome.
And we're like...
And this was first day of school?
No, this was not first day of school. And we have been going over the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Exactly.
And so he says, so he tells us the whole story about Fermat, and then he says, all right, guys, so here's his last theorem. And he said, find something, a whole number, where A cubed plus B cubed equals C cubed. And the entire Team Adventure became obsessed with it. Okay. There were people staying in his classroom during lunch running numbers for like the next month. Because $1 million if you get it, right?
Yeah.
This was not what the theorem was. This was not Fermat's last theorem.
No.
He completely misinterpreted the theorem, as it turns out, because some guy has proven it. Now, first of all, theorem, not a math problem.
No.
A statement.
Yes.
And that statement that he said was this. It was not, there is a number where A cubed plus B cubed equals C cubed, and I can prove it. That is not what his statement was. His statement was A to the nth power plus B to the nth power equals C to the nth power. There is no number. There is no number. There is no combination of numbers that fills that if the n is above 2. That's what he said. So he didn't say there's an answer, figure it out. He said there's not an answer and I can prove it. So F you, Blackman. F you in the A.
Towels.
All right?
Sharpie's in your pocket.
Oh, yeah, because I had to...
Because I had to take it away.
That's why I have a lid now.
But yeah, I just want to express, because he literally told us the exact opposite of what the theorem was. And like,
Is this part of the RCR report?
No.
it's technically the first story.
Okay.
But he told us there was an answer
when there isn't.
theorem was there's no answer and I can prove it. And it took like 20 years of this math professor's life to figure it out. And he had to use so many different, like, there were 3 higher math theories he had to, like, cross over like a huge Venn diagram. F you, Blackman. F you in the A. Alright, let's move on to the RCR report. Proper.
Alright.
It's being hailed as the potential discovery of the century, and it hasn't been discovered yet. Newly released data from radar scans of King Tut's tomb find not only are there secret chambers likely hidden in the walls, but objects in them as well. The radar scans reveal metal and organic materials, according to Egyptian officials speaking at a news conference in Cairo on Thursday. It's far too early to say if metals means a long-lost treasure and if organic materials means a mummy or mummies, but Egyptian officials, hoping for a much-needed tourism boost, are excited by the possibility. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to say probably something to do with aliens or alien materials. As you all know, aliens have been visiting this Earth for thousands and thousands of years.
Of course.
And
It's scientifically proven
Yeah,
at this point.
we have a movie coming out in May about it. I mean,
I have seen Superman, sir. And
that's March. That's March. I was talking about Apocalypse.
I know, I was making a separate joke.
Gosh.
Oh my god.
Such a plus.
Okay, one thing I would like to mention is that have they not heard of King Tut's curse? King Tut's curse.
King Cut terse?
It's English.
Okay.
King Cut was very terse.
So, my like almost entire 6th grade year was we kind of had like a special break-off class with Miss Haynes at Smith Elementary. Shut up.
Are you okay?
You were literally in the special class. Oh my god.
I don't know if you guys couldn't see it, but I saw Casey's lip quivering like he was about to cry. Like right before he took off his glasses, he looked like he was just about to start crying.
We have to do an edit.
No, we don't.
It wasn't an
Richie,
actress.
that wasn't a special class. You're just dyslexic.
Did I say it was a special class?
You said it was a break-off class.
You literally said the word special.
Did I?
Okay, I didn't hear it.
All right, so let me rephrase that. It was just a break-off class for during the history segment because there were we read Crispin. I think is one of the books by Avi.
Crispin Law.
Or I don't remember what it was. I think it was Crispin. But
Anyway.
we also read a book about King Tut,
Mhm.
and the majority was around like Egyptians and stuff like that. So
As a book about King Tut would
Yeah.
be.
Oh,
No, it's a book about King
Everything's
Tut and
lining
everything's...
up so far.
I mean, we spent maybe 3 or 4 weeks on Crispin, and then like the rest of the first semester on the Egyptians and stuff like that.
I was about to say,
weeks.
you spent like, you spent longer researching King Tut than King Tut
Yeah.
was Pharaoh.
Well, we like the main.
He died.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's
Later.
actually what the last like 6 weeks of the class was. We were trying to figure out, was King Tut murdered?
Mhm.
How did he die? And we all came up with the conclusion of
See-
he actually just gotten an injury during battle, and then he died from an infection.
That is not true.
That's what we came up with.
New research actually suggests he was poisoned.
Still, bacteria.
Yeah. Well, like they're hoping for much needed tourism. However, we all know what happened to all the people who went into King Tut's tomb in the first place. They
You're
all.
so
pretty
sure-
careful about saying that now.
I have to be. I got to.
Hey, I'm pretty sure Yu-Gi-Oh explained everything about the Egyptians playing card games. I mean, let's play a children's card game.
You can't reference. Next story,
It's not a
please.
reference.
Next
All right.
story.
Please.
Hey, it's
Alright.
Egyptian related.
I will tell you, this one is a bit of a long one, but it is worth it.
Oh no.
I'm
Because, ladies and gentlemen, all of our suspicions have been proven.
ready. Aww.
Dr. Paul Kelly, a researcher at Oxford University, has scientifically...
I meant to throw it at him. It slipped through my fingers.
Continue, please.
It's funny because this story is about torture.
Can I take notes?
Dr. Paul Kelly, a researcher at Oxford University, has scientifically corroborated the claim that nearly every person in the working force to ever live has made. That working before 10 a.m. is torture to your body. In the interview, Kelly said before the age of 55, the circadian rhythms of adults are completely out of sync with normal 9 to 5 working hours, posing a serious threat to performance, mood, and mental health. With that information, Kelly has determined that there needs to be a global shift in the way that we work, not only starting our work days earlier, but starting our children's school days later as well. I meant to say later the first time.
Thank you.
Studies have shown that the average 10-year-old struggles to focus on schoolwork if it happens before about 8:30, and that the best educational results happen around 11 a.m. Dr. Kelly says the overall educational experience children receive if it were to happen in the afternoon instead of morning would result in an overall grade increase by about 10% across the board. He continues, if we look at the connections between the human body, Earth, and the light from the sun's natural rhythms, it isn't really possible to change its 24-hour cycle. Later start time should affect every aspect of society, including prisons and hospitals. In these settings, people are usually woken up and given food that they do not want. You're more biddable because you're totally out of it. Sleep deprivation is torture. And one of the things that he said a little bit later on in there really made me think, which is it would make such a difference in society across the board, because a lot of teenagers who have to wake up and go to school and hate waking up and going to school, a lot of those people end up being the troubled kids, and a lot of them turn to a life of crime. Like if that overall experience was better, what kind of an impact would that have on society?
Well,
just overall, like you'd see a shift.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Well, not only that, but if kids thought, I know this is how I would think, if school would start later, that means you could stay up later and sleep until about 10 a.m. instead of waking up at 8 o'clock and actually eating and letting your body actually get pumped and ready for school, which I never thought I would say that.
I've never heard get pumped and ready for school.
I'm so pumped.
Out.
Let's go! I'm ready to start my morning.
Go IU.
Go IU.
So
now you're dating the podcast.
What game am I talking about?
Well, if they lose.
Yeah, if they
lose
lose in 2 days or something.
Well, so it kind of makes sense of why I never really paid attention in English class, because freshman year I had English first mod period for people who didn't go to East.
It also explains why you slept until we had to do the morning show.
Hey, I did my Hey, I got the graphics ready.
I did the thing.
I got my things ready.
Throw me a bone here. Tell me what I did, please.
Graphics. I got the graphics ready, and then I went into the office and I passed out. No, I think I actually one day put a "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door.
You most definitely did that more than once.
Yeah.
I feel like that happened every day.
Jacob Smith always came and knocked on the door. Richie, are you awake?
Here he goes
again. Not do that. Can you
I was
seriously?
doing it lightly.
Well, wait until you hear that.
Yep. I apologize in advance.
Rip headphone users.
Well, no. Thank you for giving me enough time to be prepared.
I don't move fast.
But I never paid attention in English freshman and sophomore year because I always had them the first class of the day. But junior year, I had it the third class of the day, which was after 1017, and sixth mod on senior years.
Yeah, well, and even then, getting up now and paying attention now in college, for me, is still hard. I had an 8 a.m. class last semester, and it was the actual worst decision I've ever made. Because I'd have to get up at 7 a.m., and this would also be me working till 9 and doing homework until about 11:30. And not only having to get up, but having to get up and get ready to, go about my entire day, because my day on campus, I live off campus. I'd be getting up at 7, leaving my apartment by 7, or I'd be on the bus at 7:30, and I'd be gone until about 9:30.
Well, it's about
AM to PM.
Probably a 2-minute drive campus, but you walk.
I don't walk. I ride the bus.
You're at the
so
bus.
it's a 10-minute walk to the bus, a 3-minute bus ride, and a 10-minute walk from the bus.
You live in the very back of.
Yeah, I live way in the back of my
apartment
complex. But it's just
It's a nice apartment though.
Yeah,
That's where we do most of our filming.
Actually, technically,
We've done
a majority of the
about
filming here.
half and half at
Yeah.
this point. That's where we will do most of our filming.
Stay tuned. No, but it's
Scheduling issues.
well, it's like even now there are some days I work at 6:15 in the morning, which is not fun. But
I remember doing them.
well, it's just it just doesn't feel natural to wake up. Like on my spring break, I just sleep in till whenever, and my body's been waking me up like weirdly enough 10 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
And so I've been waking up about the time that's been recommended, and I've been feeling wonderful.
Or the phone's
And
already been calling you.
Yeah.
You
Well, I was awake by then.
Look wonderful. Speaking of sleeping in the TV studio, you'll never guess who came into work tonight.
Baker.
No, Sky Bailey. Is there a porno playing in the living room? Hold on, you're about to see a real behind-the-scenes look here, but
Did you leave the TV on?
I didn't leave the TV on. No.
We'll be right back.
There's a video playing on my... What video is...
Is that you? I'm afraid to come look.
Oh, it's the gaming awards. So Sky came into work, and I was seating them, and he was asking me what I've been up to and stuff, and we were talking about how he got kicked out of East, and
See, I never knew Sky.
yes,
Oh,
so
he's an interesting character.
So many good
Was
stories.
it him or JT that messed up the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, that was Sky, and Martosha did it once as well.
How do you mess?
He forgot
Well-
the One Nation Under God part.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah, he said One Nation Indivisible, and then one time Braden messed it up really
that
bad
was
because we
fantastic.
lost the. But no, we were talking about. I remember the last because he unfortunately didn't make it through senior year quite. There was an incident. I probably shouldn't tell you what that incident
Let's
was.
not talk about
But it happened during second mod, and I still remember the last thing that Sky ever said, and I was talking to him about it today, which he was sitting at the secretary's desk before we'd gotten our new secretary and eating a flatbread sandwich from Quiznos because he's Sky. And the last...
Quiznos?
Yeah, where do you get a Quiznos sandwich?
Or, I don't know, whatever it was. It was...
Probably Subway.
Penn Station.
Penn, it might have been Penn's, I don't know.
Penn doesn't open for breakfast.
I don't know,
Anyway.
it was something.
It was Subway.
We know our sandwiches, folks.
I can't eat any of that stuff, so I just took a shot in the dark. But he was eating like a flatbread sandwich or something, and he we're sitting there having our post-show meeting, talking about how the show went, which was something unneeded that we added my senior year,
Oh, I'm glad you added it your senior year.
and then you were terrible, Richie. All right, guys,
Martosha's mom. Oh, God.
You just have a tally board by the end of the
Did you hear that story? We'll talk about that one
Anyway, I
later.
want to hear the rest of this one first.
So he ducks his head in because you sat in the TV studio, like we were sitting right there, up there by the board, and he's up at the desk and he ducks his head in and he says, "Hey, Casey, have you tried this sandwich?" I'm like, "No, I haven't tried it yet." And he's like, "It's fantastic. You need to try it." And then he ducked his head out, and we never saw him again. What?
I can imagine.
Okay.
But
That sandwich must have been great because he just ran to the hills with it.
yeah, and but I bring all of that up to tell you my favorite ever story from the TV studio. That was the time that Travis, through completely his fault and not any fault of myself or Tyler Smith,
Is this the mirror?
broke the mirror.
Yep. I still have the mirror I was gonna donate in my basement. I was like, I'm gonna bring it in.
Yeah.
Never brought it
It
up.
was. We were trying to get Travis to go into the studio. I grabbed the legs. Tyler Smith grabbed the arms. We picked him up. Mirror ended up getting broken because it was like a really, really crappy mirror.
I just hear shattering.
Yeah. It was a really,
Hodge looks
really,
at me.
You shut your mouth. This is my story. And you...
How you doing over there, Daredevil?
Yeah! Foreshadowing.
But no, I've told this story a bunch of times. I know the way that this goes. It was one of the really crappy mirrors, and so like the frame, we just kind of bent forward, and the glass just fell out. And so it crashes, and I start yelling at Travis for breaking the mirror. And then I put up a sign. Follow me on Instagram at MakingFunCasey. Scroll back through my post.
Like 2 years.
Yeah, and there's a sign I put up that said, "Attention, due to Travis's negligence, there may be broken glass in this area. Please do not walk here in bare or socked feet. Again, this is Travis's fault."
Even though it was
But
totally your fault?
Sky has the best story on this one because Sky was sleeping at the time. And so Sky is just laying there dead asleep, and he hears, "Travis!" And he just
Put a warning, listening sign.
And just this entire episode is just warning. I'm gonna end up smacking myself at some point to protect my ears.
Next story. We're 30 minutes in.
Well, we have to...
So talk.
And this is only going to get better, folks.
Oh, God.
An extremely rare occurrence, a mother in Vietnam has learned that her twins have different fathers.
What?
DNA testing...
What was...
you know, like when you get that little bubble in your throat and the
Yeah.
little and then you're good.
Mike was out.
So me earlier?
Anyway, no. DNA testing for the two siblings at a clinic in revealed that they are bipaternal twins. Oh yeah, you're gonna be able to help me.
I did a report on
There
Vietnam.
are few details available about the children and their parents because of confidentiality agreement between the family and the clinic. But local media in Vietnam have stated that the twins were born 2 years ago and look very different from one another. I'd like to think one of them's white and one of them's black.
They're in Vietnam.
Still though, I mean, just let me... This isn't right.
How did... What?
It's like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where they're trying to explain to Barney.
It's... God, I believe you got my order wrong. I'm so sorry.
Casey, what has been with you these 2 episodes?
This is what happens when I get in front of a camera.
See, and I was gonna continue the joke, but I can't.
I
For sake of
The
decency.
DNA testing reportedly took place under pressure from family members. There's something wrong here, I swear.
No, these are mine.
This is rare not only for Vietnam, but for the world. It occurs when a woman releases multiple eggs that are then fertilized by multiple men during a single ovulation period, meaning the children are conceived hours or days apart.
If they were hours apart...
Then that
Wow.
woman deserves a medal.
Hold on. I know we're going to have to throw something up, but... Towels!
Oh, no.
And,
Oh, no.
Did you leave it in there with your computer?
I might have.
Alright, 30 minutes.
Write it on the wall.
We got plans.
Here, I'll start writing.
I don't want you right
you're gonna get confused halfway through on what you're...
The good news is for the fathers, they'll probably never know. Because if she is doing the wibbly wobbly with that many men...
I love you say that many. Maybe she only did it with 2.
Well, you know what?
You know what they say about assumptions,
There's
Casey?
it's called a representative sample.
Was she the
All right.
sample?
Our last... It's lucky my bed's right there for him.
Yeah, right.
Next story. These. All right, boys. Last two stories.
Two more?
Yeah, and they are back to back. I'm going to read them both.
Okay.
And I will tell you, the second story is just a sentence because I lost my mind reading it. But these two are incredibly related. Scientists, you need to wipe your eyes because you're crying.
Use your beanie.
The beanie's good for something. Other than making me look like a douche.
Scientists, presumably so occupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think about whether they should, have grown chickens with dinosaur legs. More accurately, a team at the University of Chile, because of course this happened in Chile,
Yeah, of course.
grew chicken embryos with dinosaur-like fibulas. So like in modern birds, the fibula is shorter than a tibia and is splinter-like. According to a study published earlier this month in Evolution. Discover magazine reports that by suppressing the Indian hedgehog homolog gene, an actual thing which all animals, including humans, have, Indian hedgehog homolog, scientists spurred an ankle bone in chicken embryos to produce a bone-growing protein. This resulted in a fibula that kept growing until it was longer and more tube-like, similar to the legs of dinosaurs. Next story. Scientists have discovered what they believe is a pregnant Tyrannosaurus rex, and it might even still contain dino DNA. I'd like to write an open letter to the scientific community.
No, we've seen how this goes.
Stop everything you're doing. There are 4 movies and 3 good ones. Dedicated.
I would say 2 good ones. I'm sorry. 2 and 3
was-
were crap.
One of them was okay.
2 was better than 3 because
That's
3
true.
had the talking
3 was
velociraptors.
3 was an abomination. That being
Good
said,
job.
Much like these
Spielberg.
chicken with dinosaur legs. Stop, please.
much like this podcast.
Burn it with fire,
I think the
please.
chicken with the dinosaur legs is what the main plot of Jurassic World is.
Listen, I want you guys to look right into the camera. From making fun of the scientific community, listen, we understand what it's like to create something you're really ashamed of.
We're gonna look back. We're gonna be just like you, looking
We
back on this in a
understand
couple
what
of years.
regret feels like.
And I think,
We're gonna-
Don't make this mistake.
look into our eyes, viewers. Most of the
Scientific-
Don't look
yes,
into his eyes.
Yeah, don't look into
Look in
my
my eyes.
They're
Look
not
into
that
his
pretty.
eyes.
They're gorgeous.
Look me in the eyes, but hear Richie. I want you to listen to Richie, but feel Raven while looking at me.
Stop.
Okay.
I had a much more charming face. Like I was like trying to seduce
Then
them,
you just
seduce
heard
them, and then
my
it just
voice.
stopped.
And with that, that is it for the RCR report. Gentlemen, as you know, each of us bring a random topic of conversation to start off with. This week, Raven, what's your topic?
All right. So the FBI and Apple, of all people, are going to court.
Cool.
Okay, so basically,
Tell us a little bit about it, because I told you to save it.
yep.
I heard that.
What has happened? From
Why
what?
are you special?
He was in the car when he decided
Yeah,
that
that
he
was-
wanted to come up with this.
Anyway,
We were trying to debate for me.
Basically, what's happening is that the FBI found a phone that from what I gathered, the FBI found a phone that they can link to terrorist attacks in the States.
Okay.
And they want Apple to make a way into the iPhone, like a special code, so they can get into the iPhone, so they can figure out what the terrorist has been doing. You know, kind of understandable. Apple said no, and then turned around and also publicly stated what the FBI wanted them to do on their website, and then explained why they're not doing it.
So we see the terrorists going to Samsung now.
Okay.
I want to see the demographic sales for this last month on Samsung Galaxies.
Well, up because there was the S7 that just
The S7
released.
did just launch, and the S7 Edge with.
No,
the,
I'm talking about a spike in one specific minority.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So I'm profiling that most of the terrorists are Middle Eastern. Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry I made that broad generalization.
I'm so ashamed of you. I can't even get through my story without you being racist.
That is like the least racist.
And I thought
racist
I
thing
was
to say.
controversial.
Anyways.
Let's look at history. Most of them are. Like if we're talking about
Okay.
specifically the group of bad people,
Mhm.
a lot of that group of bad people that would be classified as terrorists are Middle Eastern. That's all
We're
I'm
not
saying.
just talking about the Saudi Arabian. The
No,
Egyptians were kind of...
Face!
Oh, wow, 6 minutes different. That's a record.
Okay.
No, it's not. You didn't swear for an entire podcast the
Yeah.
first time. Except
You
for
went-
one.
So basically.
So, yeah,
so-
dig us out of this hole.
Okay. Apple refuses to make a code because it basically would allow a FireGate or an easy access into any phone. Basically, if it got in the wrong hands, anybody could access
Slippery
any
slope.
iPhone. Yeah, it's basically like if it falls in the wrong hands, it could be used for evil, whatever.
Yeah.
And so FBI is taking them to
and
court.
Lord knows that the FBI has never done anything questionable.
Never ever. The FBI is a saint.
The
like,
government
I trust the
is not bad at all.
Never.
There's no bad eggs in the government.
But yeah,
Until November.
please, Lord, no.
Bernie Sanders, save us.
I don't even care who it is except for Trump. Like
The only bad thing about the
Trump.
Emails.
Yeah. And we made we all decided not to get political on this show. That's not a political statement.
That
is a
is-
statement.
yeah.
That is an unequivocal, non-arguable fact.
What good has
That would
Trump
be
ever
bad.
given us?
Yeah. Anyway,
A
so
good segment on WWE?
Like years of Gary Busey.
True.
Just years.
True.
Which I gotta say, quick sidebar here. Gary
We don't get this
Busey
a
is
lot.
awesome.
I love Gary
And being Gary Busey is the best job in the world. Because here's the thing. He was in a motorcycle accident in 1988, so he can't remember his lines. Luckily, he's crazy. So this guy literally gets paid to be Gary Busey on camera.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you remember that Amazon Fire Stick commercial he did where he was talking to all the objects in his
Yeah.
house? And I was talking about this with Monica, Dave's wife, at the last Emerge show, well, the second to last Emerge show. And then a week later, I found out Gary Busey is getting his, like, they're starting the first ever completely web-based, like, TV network. Not like a Hulu or something
Yeah.
that gets syndicated content or whatever, but it's like a network
Yeah.
of original programming. And Gary Busey has a show where he's going to read children's stories.
Oh, this is going to be majestic.
Right?
can
Anyway.
we review that?
Yes, we
That's
can.
a review.
That's a review.
Okay, mark our words. But okay, so
Back to
my story
back
for
to
the
this
third time.
very important lawsuit.
So it's basically the FBI is filing that this could be a threat to national security if they cannot get into the phone, whereas Apple, as I mentioned before, doesn't want the potential fire.
Poor Michael.
For the record, we have a studio audience tonight.
Give a round of applause. Woo!
Studio audience, give us a round of applause. There we go. All right,
We
stop.
feel special.
You're being. It's too much.
Okay.
You're dismissed.
The door's down.
There's no way for him to get out.
You just gave us the happiest thumbs up, and I wish you could see.
Okay, and so this has been going on for a while because I remember getting
What, this topic?
yes, this lawsuit in training is for some reason the first phrase I thought of, but I remember seeing the statement from Apple months ago. But yeah, Apple refuses to do this, and they've even said that they don't want to put their customers at risk because they feel like that is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to say, I do totally agree with where they're coming from. I think, because I did hear a little bit about this, I just didn't realize they were going to court. I heard about it, like, when Apple said the thing.
Yeah.
And, like, I think the FBI needs to just ask for something a little more specific. Just rein it in a bit.
Yeah.
Not put a tracking in every single phone,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure that's the NSA.
Like, just create a system,
Mhm.
put it in place where you can, like, file some sort of a warrant and just request that information from Apple.
Mhm.
You know, like, that takes 20 more minutes and it's a lot more secure.
Well, even then, Apple doesn't want us knowing that they have all of our information.
I mean, I'm sorry, that's a given. If
Yeah.
you have a phone, that company's going to have access to your
Yeah, of
information
course.
if they want.
But it is just, For one, I agree with where Apple's coming from. I remember reading that, and I'm like, it's like I've been on the fence about Apple phones, but like this like totally like secures like what I believe. I guess.
If only they had a good operating system.
Oh, you're right.
Now that you mentioned that.
Well, it's like I don't know. I prefer Apple.
Your Apple Watch.
Me and my
Douche.
my douchey
Douche
watch.
bag.
My douche watch.
Hey, Team Samsung.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
But yeah, so I think Apple's doing something really good for
That
once.
being said, Apple, not a good history in court.
No.
I feel like they're always in some sort of lawsuit.
They are, but my favorite one is the one with Samsung.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Which one was it? I can't remember off the
The
top of my head.
one where Samsung created a square phone, and Apple was like, "No,
Yeah.
we have the trademark on we have
that's
the
right.
patent on all square phones," and so Samsung's like, "That's stupid," and so Apple took them to court, and they won.
Yeah.
And they won like a couple like $1 million or something. Like it was an exorbitant amount of money. And then Samsung's like, "That's stupid." So they sent 4 semis filled with nickels to the Apple
I remember
headquarters.
reading about this.
And that's how they paid it.
I do remember also that
4 semis filled with nickels.
That was pennies.
No, it was
it was
nickels.
nickels. Yeah.
They're not barbarians, Richie.
They sound so.
That'd have been like
rods.
6 semis full of pennies. But
Quarters is not taking it hard enough on them.
And neither are dimes.
Dimes would have been okay, but dimes are smaller, so that would be less trucks, and they're trying to make a statement
yeah,
here.
it'd been 1 truck full of dimes.
I love how there's actually legitimate like logistics and reasoning for why they chose nickels over any other coin.
And pennies is just because they don't want to be too mean. They're
Right.
actually send a statement, not make enemies.
Right.
Even though they're probably enemies.
They are enemies. Let's
Yeah.
be honest here.
Yeah, totally.
But I forgot what I was gonna say.
I mean, for me, I know in economics class we read an article about how I think Amazon took Apple to court over like audiobooks,
Right.
and I was like, Apple, why?
Well, I mean, and this
Amazon took Apple to court.
yeah.
This kind of goes back. You stop coughing, studio audience.
You
You're
said-
being a bad studio audience. Bad. No.
Spray him with water.
Where's the water? Oh, it's
we
over
do
there.
have a water gun.
I get
No, you are not the keeper of the water gun.
But
No. But like, this kind of goes back to, I think this is sort of a broader thing with just the new world that we live in, and they talk about the days where like the TV was the Wild West and nobody really knew what to do about it. We have that now with all this new technology where nobody really knows what's up, and we saw that like last month with the Fine Brothers thing that just blew up,
God.
where like nobody really knows, like people who are experts on trademarking and patents and stuff don't know what's going on because it's such a great line.
Yeah.
Because like so much has happened in our lives. I was reading this thing about 90s kids earlier today where it was talking about how the reason that like people between the ages of like 18 and 24 right now are so like nostalgic for the 90s is because our childhood was so different from what we're at now.
Yeah.
Right? Where like we grew up with playing with chalk, and we were the last, generation to go outside, and we were the last all of this, and then from the time that we were like 5 to the time that we were 15, everything about the way you live your life was different.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're so nostalgic for something that just happened 20 years ago.
Honestly, I just miss the cartoons and the shows.
That's
For the
true.
90s.
I mean, technology has done a lot of good things. We're just saying, it's a different world.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot different. I mean, I really don't remember it, but kindergarten was kind of world changing for. I mean, Raven and I, it was preschool for you because that was 2001.
Mhm.
So, I mean, a lot of stuff like from the year 2000 on, the world just changed completely.
Yeah, and technology is advancing more and more every day, which brings us to my topic.
High five, segues.
Towels. Got the whistle because I said the D word. Come on, Casey.
Did you say the D word?
I did. I
Oh.
just did.
Oh, thank you.
I'm owning up to it.
Thanks.
See, that's
Do 45-30.
45-30, yeah.
Pretty soon, this entire wall is just going to be filled.
We were talking about that earlier.
Like the Joker publicity photo from The Killing Joke, where it's just ha 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 ha. I'm just going to be covered in
Numbers.
time codes.
The numbers, what do they mean?
I'm just going to be sitting here.
Pulling out what little hair you have.
But no, earlier this week, well, last week when this airs, we had already recorded this episode of But Seriously that released last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the day after we did that, VR price dropped for Sony.
Really?
For PlayStation VR.
Mm-hmm.
Had you not heard that?
I had not heard that. I heard you talk about PSVR, and I was like, okay.
No, PlayStation VR is going to be the headset and the Playroom game that they're bundling in with it is going to be $399. And then there's going to be, like, I think a $500 bundle with the headset, 2 Move controllers, and the camera. Which you need the camera, you don't necessarily need the Move controllers. And so I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk about not just PlayStation VR, and we'll probably start with that, but VR in general. Because there are a lot of things going on with it right now, and I've got, like, indigestion.
Yeah. That brings me back to my topic that I talked about, NitPixels. I kind of mentioned about the Oculus Social Room. Is that VR, even though it's been kind of on the down low, they're with Oculus finally having a release date, and then the Vive is not coming out, and then we have more specific things about PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
It's
October on PSVR.
We have a release date for that. Like, I've seen people with HTC Vives,
Samsung has the VR.
There's so much going on.
I hope it comes out on October 26th, because that's the day that the PS2 came out, and that would be cool.
That would be great.
That'd be fantastic. But it's just like the VR it's awesome because
it's awesome. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff they still have to figure out with it, like the motion sickness and stuff.
We have a demo at Best Buy, and when I worked at the Columbus store, because I transferred up to Greenwood, our Samsung guy Tyler comes over and he gives me the VR, and he's
never having live the audience again.
He put it on the Cirque du Soleil one, knowing I hate clowns. And it's the full 360, so he's like, hey, you just gotta do a complete 360. I was like, okay, so I start to do the 360, and then giant hand with the clown just sitting on, like, I was like,
and he can only see your mouth, so you're like you're crying, but he can only see you, like, quivering your lips.
Oh, and I had a headset on too, because he even said, hey, Richie, I yelled, by the way, there's clowns behind you after you put the headset on.
Which might be a lie. Who knows?
But okay, I am currently, at the time of recording, I'm in the game design program at IU, which I always seem to talk about every week.
It's been
again, like 3 of the 3 weeks.
Yep, 3 of the 3. So you're at 100 right now.
Yep, going strong with that A+.
Batting 1,000, they say.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would it be 3,000 since this is the 3rd week in a row?
That is not how that works. It's percentage.
I don't do numbers. We've been over this.
But I had a professor.
I can tell you're on the verge right now, so I'm ready.
I had a professor who went to a press conference last semester, so fall of 2015.
Right.
And he was talking about these games that he played. Like, he had some buddies who developed a game, and he played it, and it's like a tower defense MOBA kind of game that you played completely with an Oculus on, and you used your hands to control everything.
Right.
He said, like, obviously there were some bugs because it was still in the, like, closed beta.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But he said it was one of the weirdest things he's, like, ever done. And then he also played this game, which is launching with every Oculus. I can't remember what it's called.
Right.
It's a it's like a pseudo platformer, like, over the shoulder perspective, I think. But he said he played that, and he said it was the most, like, he's been in the game design field for, like, 20 years, I think I want to say, 20 or more. And he said it was one of the most, like, one of the biggest changes he thinks is ever going to happen to the market.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's going to take, I would think, because it's not going to be great right off the bat.
No.
It is not going to be great.
Nothing that launches is great off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, and there's a train. So
This
that's-
episode is the most professional.
That's our next 15 minutes.
All I can say is, when it comes to if they ever release an MMO on the VRs, I'm staying away from it. I've seen Sword Art Online. I'm not getting into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like it's going to take, I think, 10 years about for the gaming culture to really latch onto it, and that's going to be because you're going to put it on. It's going to be disorienting. You're probably going to get motion sickness at some point from something, and it's. VR is not going to be something that you play for hours.
No.
It's going to be a couple hours, and at the most, and that's why I, like some of the stuff it looks like they're releasing, like Dreams or whatever, where, like, I could totally just chill out in Dreams for a couple hours.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little bit to the price of PSVR. Obviously, you just heard it on the podcast because apparently the kid that's in the game design courses doesn't follow as much gaming news.
I
as
haven't been in school in a week. That's where I figure out all
Still,
my
I'm
news.
just saying you should be plugged in. The guy with the tech news show. Let me put it that way.
I love how I didn't even talk about it on the show.
And you know what's gonna happen because we haven't recorded next week's Nick Pixels yet. We're going to record the Nit Pixels that you saw on Thursday after we record this.
Yeah.
Well, not tonight,
Yeah,
obviously, but we haven't recorded that yet. So he's gonna talk about it on Nit Pixels. But no, that being
Yeah,
said,
recording schedules.
I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I think it's good. It definitely compares to the $5.99 that Oculus is going for at launch.
Right, but that being said,
It is, but it is also the Oculus is supported on computers, which has a much larger library for games, whereas
Okay,
PSVR doesn't. Well,
but screw that though,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
here's the counterpoint to that. Though.
Mhm.
PSVR, easily the cheapest VR out there,
Mhm.
and that is not gaming VR.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Samsung's VR is like
Google,
$100.
yeah.
Google
Oh yeah,
Cardboard.
Oh yeah, Samsung's goggles that you put your phone into. No, I'm not counting that. Don't get me wrong. I would like to have one,
They're fantastic.
but
Solved the wound, Rich.
But-
Start
no.
making your Christmas list, Casey.
oh, I have. But no.
PSVR.
We're like, okay, so let's talk about how much. Okay, let's say you do not have anything gaming related, and you're probably gonna spend an exorbitant amount of money. Let's go with $1,000 to $1,500 creating like a PC that can run Oculus, right? Because it's not supported everywhere.
No.
And then that's what, like $599 they say.
Yeah,
So
$5.99,
you're-
either $5.99 or $6.99. I can't.
So you're
remember.
about $2,000 deep.
Yep.
If you want an Oculus, provided you don't have a gaming computer. Meanwhile, if you have nothing PlayStation related, you get the $500 bundle, and then the console's what, $4?
Yeah.
$349 right now.
Alrighty, so it's $350.
So it's already cheaper.
So is less than half the
Yeah.
money, and
For sure.
the thing about it is, Oculus, you're going to see a lot more stuff. I think PlayStation is. At least once it really catches on, you're going to see better stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that always brings back to it. Computers, PC has so many more games than consoles ever will.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier for somebody to code something and then just throw it out on the internet for people to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Which Game Jolt's a really good example of people just making games for the fun of it and people playing for free. But PlayStation, to put it on PlayStation VR, you probably have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops, which is understandable. If I'm gonna spend that much money on something, I definitely want it to be a polished product.
Yeah, and if you're PlayStation 2, you got to make sure that the stuff you're putting up is worthy of being on PlayStation.
Yeah. Which there's so many criteria.
Meanwhile, Steam is just going to the bank.
Yeah.
They're
like, sure, just give us I think it's 10% of total sales that Steam asks for.
Yeah, exactly.
Still going to bank.
Yeah.
Going crazy to the bank.
I mean,
Which
Steam already
means-
goes to bank. They're just like, hey, you guys want a sale? Here you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
you ready for America?
Stop it.
I did stop.
That's the best comeback. Stop it. I already did, Richie.
What of it? No, but I think that anything right now in the VR field would be a pretty big dare to do.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, will lead us into Richie's topic of the week, if we're done on the topic.
First of all, I'm not going to acknowledge that because that was the worst segue I've ever heard in my life.
So Raven, no.
So Raven, no, we're going to continue talking about this.
I can hold off on mine because I'm still gathering how I want to open it.
Richie's not even listening and talking.
Oh no, I'm listening. I'm letting you two have it out because when it comes to the gaming industry, I mean, I love my console and everything, but when it comes to gaming stuff, that's you guys.
Right.
That's all you. I know how to talk about consoles and let my customers know what all they're going to be getting and what benefits they're going to have for it. But when it comes to actual VR, PC stuff, I personally don't give a crap about the PC. I'm going to get crucified.
Every once in a while, I just turn and I just realize that he's just laying there on my bed.
And he's trying not to laugh out loud now because he got called out for it.
And Michael's one of the guys I play Xbox with more than anything. I mean, him and I have yelled at each other. That actually happened this week. I've never yelled back at Michael, and I did. I was actually impressed.
How'd you feel, Michael?
For those of you who can't see, he was ready to slam my face through my TV.
I love how, when we're not talking to you, you laugh out loud, and then when we specifically ask you a question, you're like... You're just like that scene from Napoleon Dynamite.
But, I mean, I don't care. I love my gaming industry and everything, but I don't give a crap about the PC. Mm-hmm. I don't think the whole PC Master Race is a thing, even though I stated it last week.
Yeah, this is a direct contradiction.
That is a direct
contradiction. The PC Master Race is a thing, however, every PC owner's dumb. I myself included.
Wow.
Speaking, and I want to be very clear before you guys rush to the comments section.
Ben Walker.
First, no, they won't get there before Ben Walker. Ben
Walker has made a point.
Unless Leo beats him.
Ben Walker has now made a point. I'm pretty sure he's going to watch the comments.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Leonardo DiCaprio or Ben Walker.
I feel like if Leonardo DiCaprio commented first before Ben.
I'm going to give credit where it's due. Richie brought that up, and it was kind of buried, so I just wanted to take a second to acknowledge it. But no, I am totally going to pre-order PSVR. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pre-order the bundle, and I think Tuesday, which would be this last Tuesday that you guys just experienced, the $500 bundle is going to be up on GameSpot.
Okay.
And they're not putting the $399 one on sale yet.
Wow. So are you just going to go ahead and do the $599?
Well, I don't have Move controllers or a camera. So
see, that's the biggest thing is that I have a camera, but I don't have Move controllers.
Well, the PS, the PlayStation
not everything needs Move controllers.
I got a camera one day.
Just the PlayStation controller will work.
Yes.
Or the PlayStation camera.
For instance, I was watching some coverage of Dreams, and Dreams works with the Move controllers, the DualShock as a Move controller with the light bar, and just with the analog sticks.
I just thought of this. What if they made No Man's Sky part of the VR?
Though that's actually incredible. Rumors have been swirling like that.
I haven't read anything on that.
That's the number one thing that No Man's Sky gets asked, and they basically replied with, "Oh yeah, I would love to do that. We're a team of 30 people."
Yeah, that's.
And so
I don't even have a PlayStation, and I'm really excited for that game.
They've never said.
Well, I think it's coming to PC as well.
They've never said no.
Oh, that's right.
They've never said no.
Yeah.
And they're receiving direct funding from PlayStation, so I'm still holding out hope that it could happen. And
I said they just put up a Kickstarter or GoFundMe and say, "Hey, make our dreams come true. Let's put it.
Make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Make your dreams come true.
Give us money."
But no, it's No Man.
Empty your wallets.
It's No Man's Sky, not Dreams. But no, you're gonna have to put down $100 for a pre-order, and then you can obviously do the pay thing. But yeah. I think VR is something that, I'm very wary of gimmicks, right? Where, the Wii stuff with, the motion-based stuff, gimmick, died.
Yeah.
Right? Nintendo trying to make a tablet into the controller, gimmick slowly dying.
I remember I first heard about the Wii U, and I heard that it came with a gamepad, and at first I was like, "What?"
That press conference was terrible.
I'd never even heard about it. I had thought the Wii U was a joke whenever my friends were
I
telling me
had
about
never
it.
watched Nintendo's press conference at E3 just because I'm always let down. So I wait for the guy I talked about on the first episode, Gilly the Kid, who I showed you earlier. I don't care to watch the only press conference I really watch are Bethesda's and Xbox and
Which
PlayStation.
Bethesda's was literally their first one was back in this past
Exactly.
year.
Yeah,
They announced
and
Fallout
they're
4.
having another one this year, which I don't get.
They could be
Because-
working.
Scrolls.
That's
But
very well possible.
And, I mean, that's true, but like, unless you've got this, the reason that their conference worked is because they had hit.
Mhm.
You know, what I mean, they had
Well,
hits
when does
across the
Dishonored come out?
I don't
Is it
know.
before or after E3?
I think it's.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is they did like 3 things that nobody had seen yet.
Well, Dishonored, Doom, and then Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Fallout 4 was the big one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I remember watching
and then
it.
that card game or whatever, but I think there was an Elder Scrolls.
there was an Elder
card
Scrolls
game.
card game they're releasing for mobile devices.
So it's Hearthstone, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna get it.
Yeah, basically. I don't.
I mean, I have Hearthstone
I
on
mean,
my phone. I have fun.
that was E3 last year, so it's probably out.
no,
It's
it
not.
isn't.
I'm always on the App Store looking for a new game.
Oh,
I'm waiting for Kingdom Hearts Unchained still. Sorry, but
We're gonna get a phone call whenever it comes out. He's just scream.
no, it's gonna be in the group text. Phone Guardian is sending a group text saying it's out, and I'm gonna be disappearing for a while.
Which reminds me, the other day when we were playing phone tag with like scheduling and stuff, trying to figure out when we were going to film.
The dyslexic child was doing it.
Yes, at any point we could have just added a third person to
And
one of
I
the
said
calls.
we should, and Richie's like, no, I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, but I can. He's like, oh, whatever, I'll just call Casey, and he hung up. And I'm like, really?
That kind of is how it happened.
This is what we trust the phone guardian with.
Hey, I gave myself that name, and I'm keeping it. I'm putting that on my resume.
Whatever, you're blind anyway.
That's true.
Richie, what's your topic?
Talking to me about bad sounds.
Really? That was horrible. Daredevil season 2. All right.
Don't hit the
All right.
table.
Seriously, this is
Okay.
this is a
So-
real issue.
Am I allowed to date this? Because I mean,
We already have.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yesterday, Daredevil season 2 launched on Netflix, and yes, we are recording this a week ago.
Exactly.
You're watching it, or more if you kind of.
Anyway.
Daredevil season 2 is launched on Netflix. I am 8 episodes in out of the 13 episodes, and I am absolutely.
In a fraction, that's 8 over 13.
Applause for math. We've had math in every topic we've talked about today.
Anyways,
Just love Casey's face.
so Raven actually got to experience a few episodes with me today.
Never seen anything else.
He didn't know what Daredevil's powers were.
Nope.
He was like, so what's his power?
What's his jam?
I was like, well, he was blinded as a child, and which brings me to the next point here in a second.
He's blind Batman.
He
blind
is. He pretty much.
Instead of the double D, it's the double B.
Well, I mean, Ben Affleck did play Daredevil, and now he's playing Batman.
That's awesome.
Good job, Casey. I'm actually proud of you for not even trying on that one. But so he was blinded as a child, and I mean, in multiple different comic book forms, he's been.
I'm sorry, I just looked at Michael. You know, okay, so like,
Watch this fall off.
I always watch the kind of funny stuff.
Yep.
And I wonder why they keep getting distracted by Kevin.
Now you.
I get it now.
We have a like.
We're into all the podcasts now.
Please, for the love of God, please.
Keep your schedule clear.
You're.
I have no life.
He's part of the team.
Hey, we might insult him sometimes.
I'm always free. Wow, 2 weeks in and we've made our first hire. We have an employee.
We have another MFer. Go us.
Anyways, so I mean, in one universe, he gets hit by a car, and that's
We're blind to how bad of a decision that is.
okay. Anyways,
We need to get out of here.
anyways,
Tired of these
so
puns.
in the Marvel Universe for Netflix, and they referenced Jessica Jones in one of the recent episodes, and I like
He actually squealed.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
It was a thing, but so I mean he gets acid in his eyes, and then he gets trained by a blind man, and the blind man is kind of a ninja, and he teaches him pretty much how to be a
discussion.
That's what
Write
you
it down.
call the blind leading the blind. That's 105.
I thought it would be called the blind side.
Blind side. No blind people.
I was very disappointed in that movie.
You're all ready. You walk in sunglasses, cosplaying as a blind guy. Picture it. Picture it.
That'll be my gimmick at Indie PopCon. I'll be the blind.
No, you won't. By the way, making fun. We're going to Indie PopCon. We just talked about it. We're going to
Yeah. It's gonna be so much fun.
But he starts jumping all over the place, and Raymond's like, "I thought he was blind." Well, he kind of is.
Richie's doing an awful job of explaining everything.
Daredevil. Kinda blind.
I mean, he uses his sense to see. So he.
That's still blind.
Yep.
It's called echolocation. Is what
Still
stats use.
He is the true Batman.
Okay, I'm just gonna move on. So far, the series has been fantastic. I mean, I've gotten the doses of Elektra, and I mean, Punisher was there from the beginning, and it was beautiful. Ben Batfleck.
Stop talking.
That was a lot of spit.
That was.
I just took a drink. And
I got it on my arm. Ew.
That's not. Move on. Move on. Just move on.
Okay, more about the
Keep
series,
talking.
please.
So far the series it's everything I look forward to.
Yeah.
In one of the teasers they showed Daredevil.
Daredevil did what in the teaser?
Just go ahead. I'm sorry. I just love how you start. You know, you're talking about Daredevil, the blind superhero, and you're looking forward to so much, and you can't wait to see what they do. I'll be under here. You need me, just.
Hide under your Portello shirt.
Okay.
Talk
to me.
There was a scene there. They kind of released a screenshot of it, and it was Daredevil, not Deadpool. Daredevil.
3 weeks. We are actually losing our minds here, guys.
Did someone put laughing gas in here?
It's Michael. It's all Michael's fault.
So that's what happened when you farted earlier. That's why you're so sad all the time. It's because you fart out all the laughter.
Always love your laughs. I just love the.
I'm so sorry.
This is definitely our most professional podcast.
Everyone just breathe.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Anyways, there was a scene they released. No. Okay. Thank you. Daredevil was chained to a like a brick wall.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most iconic scenes in the Daredevil universe with the Punisher, because he actually tapes a gun to his hand and says, "You don't worry about shooting me in the arm or the leg or the chest. I have enough armor. Only way you're gonna get out of this is if you shoot me in the head."
Yeah.
And it's breaking Daredevil's rule, and it of course goes back to Batman's rule, never to kill.
A lot of parallels here.
And Batman actually has broken his rule about 10 times now.
Parallel lines. Blind people can't see them.
Casey.
You're done. Go back under. Go night-night. Night-night, Casey.
I host a show.
We'll call for you when it's almost over.
I love your muffling yourself. Just
yeah, like my entire mouth is out of it, and I'm still like, it's commitment to the bit, Raven.
Fantastic cast, though. The cast is absolutely amazing, and it was everything I was really hoping for. Yeah, I watched what I said that time, Casey.
But as an outsider's perspective, I had never watched season 1, But the
need
5
to.
episodes that I was semi-forced to watch today
It was
were
more like 3 or 4. 3.5.
I love how that's the part that you come back, not the semi-forced part. You're like,
he's like, "You wanna
no,
come hang
don't
out?"
get me wrong. I was holding him hostage, but let me be very clear about something.
He was actually just playing Fire Emblem on
I was
my
totally
couch.
just chilling out, just playing Fire Emblem with you.
And then I actually had to rewind at one scene because I was like, hold on. And you're going to lose it probably at this part. Matt Murdock, Daredevil, for those of you who don't know his name, had his headphones in, looking at a computer.
Yeah, he was totally typing on a computer.
He was typing on a computer, Casey.
I mean, I understand. It's all muscle memory. See, here's the problem with you.
Everything. Moving on.
Everything.
And that's
like,
the end of the show,
everything that like all of the funny stuff happens, and like we're all laughing, and then you're like, oh, this is gonna be funny too.
Oh no, I told Casey,
Then it doesn't work.
Raven, I was gonna bring it up, and he was like, Casey's probably actually gonna laugh.
I don't have any left. If your topic was first, that probably would have brought me to my knees. But
We're sitting down, so it would have been really impressive.
I honestly thought the sample joke I made earlier was kind of funny.
which one?
I guess she was the sample about the.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was good. That was actually one of my best
You-
moments.
yeah.
I'm gonna take credit for that one.
Okay, but yeah, I think Daredevil season 2. I think it'd be good for anybody to watch. I mean,
And I mean, you from what you saw, spoilers. Should we do something with our hands to let them know when the spoilers are done?
spoiler starting.
All right, spoilers starting here. We'll
right,
we'll all
okay.
clap when it's.
No, when we all touch our heads, spoilers are over.
Okay.
Alright?
Cool. So.
But let the video play because it helps our watch time.
Yes, pause the video and wait for our heads to be
just mute it.
touched.
Just press the mute button. It's like right
No,
here.
I mean as opposed to like skipping. One
Oh, okay.
continuous watch is better for me.
Yeah. So you didn't see the Punisher in action.
Mm-mm.
You actually didn't. You only seen him actually in a hospital bed. Stop it! Stop it!
The Punisher in action.
Okay, yeah, I only saw him in the hospital bed.
World's
I mean,
worst porno.
Yes, I only saw him in action.
That's
it! I don't know what I expected.
You didn't see him take out the Irish mob. You didn't see him take out a biker gang.
And he tasted good.
Aw, thanks.
I said take out, not pull out.
I feel so bad for the people who are muted. They're just seeing this.
Okay, we gotta get through the spoiler.
Yeah. Okay. But so you didn't see him like. Discussion. He is. Write it down.
1 minute and 30.
1 hour actually.
And
I love how the best part is that anybody who's watching this right now is, and with it
Like,
muted, they're like, "What is Ryan getting? What is going on?"
you didn't see him in action. He's a powerhouse. We just have our heads. Okay, screw it. I'm done. That's it. That's all I had. Okay. Unmute.
And that brings us to the end of another But Seriously
No, I
podcast.
have one.
No, we don't got it.
So, I apologize. I promise.
I'm sorry for
if you
hitting the table
haven't
just
watched
now.
our review that actually is going up yesterday from the time you're watching about Batman versus Superman.
What could you possibly drop about that movie? We haven't
We
seen
haven't-
it
No,
yet.
I'm saying
Spoilers for the review that we haven't filmed of the movie we haven't seen.
that was the reason Casey was referencing Ben Affleck. So, anyways, I'm done.
That was your last point?
You wanted to plug in your own show.
Yeah.
You stopped the ending of the show in order to plug something?
No, I actually had something I wanted to say about Daredevil, but I lost it.
Okay, just
That
cut us
makes-
off
that-
now.
that
End us
actually
now,
makes a lot
please.
more sense.
That-
Ladies and gentlemen, no, just take that and put that there.
Richie, no.
No.
Rich, the first Richie, no.
That brings us to the end of another episode of the But Seriously podcast. If you liked what you saw, /heard, /suffered through, then please drop a thumbs up on this video, like it, share it, comment on it, and of course subscribe. It really, really does help us out. It really helps Raven's self-esteem. I'll tell you that much.
I don't have any, so there's nothing to help.
We will see you guys next week. It's going to be fantastic. I hope.
I promise I won't fall
What?
out my chair laughing.
What?
Get us through.
Now.
Get us through, please.
What about
Hold on, just look at him. He just looked over at him. I'm sorry.
Oh, we never talked about.
Okay, you gotta.
We got Raven to watch the SNL sketch from last week.
Hold on.
That doesn't matter.
Hold on. Yes, get your phone. Take a picture of
No.
Michael. This is gonna be a. No, dude, no, landscape that. Are you being dumb? This
He's
is our
posing.
second screen experience here at Making Fun. No. This is what we're looking at the entire podcast.
No, the reason I started laughing at the outro is because I just look over and he's just doing this. I was so lost. Bye.
This is goodbye.
Press the end button.
Hold on.
I promise we've all been through puberty.
Oh my god.
Hey, Casey, I'm Cole
I'm
Radrick.
stopping the recording.
Casey, I'm Cole Radrick.